All right, a meeting was to be held this week as the City of Johannesburg, meanwhile, is scurrying to keep officials mobile. Earlier, AVIS car rental withdrew some of its rented fleet from the City of Joburg, including cars used by police officers, City, Power and Joburg water officials, meaning that services have been and could be further affected. Afrirent, that leases more than 2,000 vehicles to the city, also warned it could be grounding its fleet due to a contractual dispute on Wednesday. But then the company said it was willing to meet with the city yesterday. Afrirent is also concerned that it has been accused of corruption. Last week, DA Councillor Lee Knott explained that the contract that was awarded to AVIS and Afrirent was declared irregular by the National Treasury in 2020. She told my colleague Iman Rapeti that the ANC government at the time was meant to cancel the contract and do a forensic audit, but it did neither of those things. Let's listen in. Here's what she said in response to a question by Iman about whether anyone was in fact bribed to allow Afrirent to get the contract.
There was an allegation, and I think at the time it was sent and it was never finalised, the investigation. So that one is currently going on. It's in process, and that'll determine whether or not there were any payments made.
But this is just murky stuff, and it is a very tangible example of how politics can really get in the way of delivering services to people. And I want you to talk to us about, and this is part of what you think as well, this, you know, kind of cesspool around coalition politics, and some people call it coalition politics.
Yeah. Look, I don't think coalition politics is the issue. We have our, you know, debates and negotiations, and it's a bit of a tough ride because you're not all from the same party. But it's good. It's good to have those discussions so you get to a compromise. The issue we have at the moment is political sabotage, particularly from the ANC side. And they, in essence, forced the situation in conjunction with the Speaker of Council in order to then claim that there's a crisis. And I warned of this on 3 separate occasions, and I said to them, you are not doing what's in the best interests of the city. At programming, I still explained to the ANC in detail, even though we don't debate items at programming. I said, here are the consequences of us not getting or renewing our fleet contract. Here's what is going to happen. And they blatantly said, and you can look at the minutes of that meeting, the recordings, this is not urgent. So I ask you, are we, you know, we're trying our best, but I think that the issue at hand is really the power struggle that's happening on the opposition benches.
All right, to discuss, we're joined by Afrirent Group Executive for Business Development, and that's Mandla Gama. Mr. Gama, thank you for being with us. Let's start with your response. The main claims there are, of course, against the ANC, but right at the beginning of that insert, the MMC and councillor, she didn't say you were guilty of anything, but she did say an investigation is underway. Is that investigation underway? And this is a chance for you to respond. Did you, as Afrirent, bribe any officials at any point?
Firstly, good evening to you and good evening to the viewers. As far as we know, the City of Joburg conducted 2 forensic investigations. That was back in 2018, and on both those forensic investigations, we were cleared. We are shocked to learn that we are being investigated without being informed of any allegations against us.
All right, so you don't know about the investigation. You heard it through the media, or have you been told, and are you cooperating with any subsequent investigation right now?
Well, first of all, I think if it was a fair and open investigation, we would be advised of the investigation. Now, if people are conducting a clandestine investigation without informing you of the allegations against you, you don't even know who brought the allegations against you. It leaves a bad taste, especially when you have a relationship with that particular client.
All right, for people watching...
So, what we've heard from the media. So we've not heard anything formally from the city themselves.
All right, so you don't know that an investigation is underway. For people watching, I mean, you've denied any of the claims. as far as the reports are concerned, one of Treasury's concerns right in the beginning when it said that the contract was invalid was alleged double billing of vehicles. Have you ever double billed for vehicles or anything like that?
Okay, let me start with the issue of Treasury. I think that was addressed between the city and Treasury, and during our meeting that we had with the city yesterday, it was clarified that the city had engaged with Treasury and the decision was taken. So on that one, it is out of our hands because the city said they did engage with Treasury on that note. And then your second question, if you can just remind me, what was the second question again?
I said, have you ever double billed for vehicles at any point?
Look, we are operating like any other business. It will be very naive of us to try and deny that from time to time there would be vehicles that are double billed. But as you know, once you have double billed, then you will have to pass a credit note the following month. It has happened, and all issues were resolved with the city. Those were internal matters. There's no cent that we've stolen from the city, but it was an issue where we had to pass a credit note, and it was passed. And we've been communicating that issue openly with everyone. So there's no cent that we've taken from the city. If indeed there was monies that we owed to the city would then have a right not to pay us. But because they know that we've cleared all the issues that were there, they know that we don't owe them anything.
All right, can we bring it to today now? Let's fast forward. After the meeting this week, can you confirm that Afrirent cars have not been grounded? Are they going to be used by Joburg officials?
Our fleet is currently running. However, we've had a meeting with the city yesterday. The city has undertaken to give us feedback. As you are aware, we are operating without a contract from the 1st of November. Today we are sitting on the 25th. Anyone who's running a business, you would know the risks that are involved in running a business without a contract. However, we had decided to put the citizens of Joburg first, to allow the city to engage internally. As you are aware, any contract, there's a grace period where people can engage to try and find each other. However, we've been trying to reach the city. We were not successful until we had a meeting yesterday, and we've deliberated. We are waiting for the city, and we've returned to them and we've notified them that should we not receive any communication by close of business today, we will then take action, which will be to ground the vehicles from tomorrow.
But the close of business today, that's expired.
Yes, we are aware. They've made a call to us to say we must give them some time this evening. So we are allowing them time to engage internally and make sure that they get back to us. Because it is unfortunate that if you run a fleet, it can be involved in an accident and you won't have any recourse. So that is the situation that we are facing currently. We have been reasonable enough from the 1st to today, which is the 25th, to allow the city to use our vehicles because we care about the citizens of Johannesburg.
All right, so the next few hours you're saying are crucial and you're trying to meet each other. As I understand, because the contracts were declared irregular, they had to be extended, but deviations were asked for, and there have been various extensions. And I understand your stance to be that you can't just keep on extending, your costs have gone up. So would you like a new contractual arrangement and a new price? Is that the sticking point?
Look, I think it is important to put this matter into perspective. The issue of Treasury, it would be best that you engage with the City of Joburg, because when we had a meeting, they gave us their view on how the matter was handled, where they were able to meet each other with Treasury. So we unfortunately cannot comment that much on that matter. If indeed the contract, they're saying it was irregular, the city went ahead and extended the contract. So it was not our decision to extend the contract. Where we are sitting currently, we are sitting with an appointment letter that the city needs to implement. And there have been delays where we are given excuses that is because of the current political climate in the city of Joburg. And it is not us that actually forcing the city to extend. We are ready to continue serving the city, and we are pushing for the new contract to be implemented. And we are waiting for the city to act on that.
And as far as you know, would that be a very short-term contract while there's a whole new tender process, while there's a whole new process launched? Or because the city has told you they've met with Treasury, could you become the continuous service provider? Okay.
There's two issues. The issue of Treasury that you're referring to is a matter that dates back to 2019, when we were first appointed through a Regulation 32.
Yes, so that contract was found to be irregular. Is that correct?
Well, according to City of Joburg, they have engaged with Treasury and they agreed that the contract should continue. Hence, we are still there. If indeed the contract was irregular based on whatever they've said, and people should not think that they said the contract was irregular because of any corrupt allegations that may have been there. Like I said earlier on, there were two forensic investigations in terms of the allegations that were initially laid against us, and we're cleared on both forensic investigation. The issue here is that Afrirent currently is operating without the contract from the 1st of November, where else we had submitted a bid, they evaluated the bid, they issued a letter of appointment, which is awaiting a council. So we want the city to implement that new appointment, which is the new contract. Our first prize is not to get this extension that we are talking about right now, because it doesn't serve us. The first minute that this contract is extended, it's going to be the media again saying that Afrirent has influenced the process. However, it's not us that's delaying the process, it's the city on the other hand.
Okay, sure. My final question to you, because for Joburg residents, like you say, out of sympathy for them, you've let Joburg officials still drive in these cars, but you said that the next few hours will be crucial and tomorrow the fleet could be grounded. I mean, how close are you to reaching an agreement now? How cordial are the discussions? Can you give us any sort of sense of whether or not the fleet will be grounded tomorrow, whether you will come and take away those keys?
The first prize is for us to reach an agreement so that there's no disruption of service to the people of Joburg. However, if you try to engage and you are ignored, I think you'll have no option but to terminate the service. But I must say that the engagement we've had with the city yesterday, it was very productive. And we're hoping that we will find each other before midnight today so that we avoid grounding the service tomorrow morning.
All right, thank you for your time. That was Afrirent's Group Executive for Business Development, Mandla Gama.